Alright guys, what's up? Okay, so welcome. I know I'm talking during Real Fish Talk. I got stuff I gotta do today. I didn't do my live stream on Sunday. I did one on Saturday. Yeah, I did an update about what a mess things are. This doesn't need to be a long live stream, but welcome. I'll let you guys filter in. We're gonna talk about a couple things. What's up, T-Hang? What's up, Bentley? Yeah, Real Fish Talk I know is on. I'll schedule that better in the future. I know there's like 150 people watching that, and a lot of them don't seem to overlap a ton. There's like a dozen that do. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so homemade chicken noodle soup and entertainment. Right on. Welcome, Ken. Welcome, Vi. And so we have a couple things we're going to discuss today. So I have a fish room set up. I've had some really bad luck. I've had some really good luck. I've had some good fortune, or good, it's not luck when you make it happen, I guess, but I've worked hard and some good things have happened. I've worked hard and I've screwed some things up and some bad things have happened. So somewhere in there, we'll talk about all that. But what I want to do from everybody, what's up, Matt? How's it going, man? I want to first share with you, so we're going to talk about naming the fish room, which was an idea by Bob Kaler. Who is a longtime follower. The channel's not that old. But, so I want to talk a little bit about that. If you guys have ideas, drop them in the comments afterwards, because they are not, you can't follow it in the stream after the fact. People won't see it as easily. So, if you have an idea for the fish room name, drop it in the comments. Secondly, I wanted to share with you guys something real quick in the bathroom here. Don't worry, it's all PG. But basically, so I got a new Python, one of those hoses. So there was there's no threading on this faucet, and this was the one I was hoping to use, or the sink one. The sink one has pressure issues, so I thought I'll stick with this one. So I look at this one, and sorry, there's a bunch of bags under here right now. And what happened is I blew a gasket on the sink and it started leaking from right under here. So I need to go get a new rubber gasket, but the pressure built up in the Python, which is a great little thing to deal with your tanks, that also blew on me. So on top of my carpet getting soaked the other day, then when I was refilling and I'm like, I'm never going to have a spill again because I bought a Python, and a 50-foot Python will fix all my problems. Well, I didn't notice it was going on until I literally felt water on my feet, standing over here monkeying with the Python. And you can see it's just this old 70s particle board that just got saturated. So I've had fans, and luckily there's a window here. But the water came out to here. So that was one bad thing. I can tell you the other bad thing from right here. So you can probably see the tailgate of my truck downstairs. So the other bad thing that happened is my truck got broken into. So we have a major spill of nasty water, if you saw that recently. 3.5 to 4 gallons of putrid, septic, bacteria-ridden, poopy smelling. It smelled like a dead animal mixed with poop on a hot day. And so, like, not bathroom stinky, but like, I don't know if you've ever been somewhere with septic, but that stinky, like old, bad stinky. So let's get right to this. And so after all that fiasco, I've got my rack set up right now. So this rack is set up. I've got my 4 other tanks too. I know this collection has just blown up really quickly, as the MTS does, as it grabs a hold of us. But basically, I had a practical reason. Let me explain. I'm not an addict. So I've got my cribs down here. I've got cribs upstairs, and I wanted a grow out tank for the cribs to possibly sell them later. So right now what I did is, these are new sponge filters. I'm running sponge filters on this upper tank. I'm also running a hang off the back with old media in it. And then I've also just placed some of the old filter floss in these tanks just because it's full of bacteria. I wrung them out in fresh water and without nasty, it was dechlorinated without a bunch of nasty stuff in it. It was fresh, nice water. And I wrung it out in there. and got rid of that. Now this morning I noticed that the nitrites and nitrates were a little high. So, you know, that's kind of odd when you have no ammonia reading, nitrates and nitrites. That's what happens sometimes when you try to flash filter a tank. There's not enough surface area, and I need to get some stones and wood and more plants in here. Not enough surface area for that good bacteria that's floating in the water to have caught on and for the water to be moving through and all that good stuff. So that will take some time, and I'm keeping a low bio load and monitoring it. This tank, which doesn't have lights on because it's killifish and shrimp, and the rock in the tank, if you can see, was getting some algae. The reason it is not lit up is because I actually have pretty bright daylight in this room, like enough that it's nowhere. Yeah, floating plants, good idea. Floating plants, wisteria, there's lots of ways that I could fix this issue, and I will probably use a combination of all of that stuff, T-Hang. So, yeah, and then some of this is an older filter that's been used in another tank. This one I don't think I'm going to do the hang off the back. We're going to try it out because it's not going to be in use all the time except for like plant overflow, and I haven't ever used such coarse gravel, but we're going to do that. There'll probably be shrimp in there too, and we'll see how it goes. But also I had the unfortunate experience of 2 heaters going out when the spill occurred. So the spill occurred over in this area, all through here, and you can see where I pulled up the carpet. It was already loose. I need to get one of those carpet stretcher things that you kick. But this was all loose and came up, and I had to pull it up thinking there'd be a soaked pad under there, like carpet padding. Nope, no carpet padding. Just wood, just plywood from the 60s that hasn't been touched since the 60s that soaked up water, and actually a seam of it right here that you can probably see. You see the shadow right there? It still popped up a little bit because of the swelling from the wood. So I was just paranoid that it would be soaking right through and causing the drywall to just collapse on the room downstairs. Not collapse, but get wet. So I got this carpet steamer cleaner deal, was able to pull out like 2 gallons after I thought it was clean. Yeah, this is an old like townhouse condo thing. It's an old house that they split into 2 in the 60s. So I don't know how old the original house is, but yeah. So the nice thing about the room here, we've lived here for 10 years, or my wife has, and I've lived here, I guess 5 now, 6, something like that. And the nice thing is that the bathroom is literally on the other side of the wall, and so is the laundry room. So if we stay here another year, I'll definitely be talking to the landlord, and he doesn't really seem to give a darn what I do, as long as I don't call him and have a problem. So he doesn't care if hey, what's up, fishy snowman? So I think I might attach it up into the plumbing here, which is able to handle a lot of water in and out. And that would give me like a way to flush out the tanks real quick if need be, like for changing massive water changes for cribs and stuff like that if I need to change the parameters. Not the biggest deal in the world, but it'd be cool to have a faucet that goes as fast as a bathtub faucet, like tied right in. So yeah, we have these bubble filters going. I need you guys to help. I'd like to connect. We emailed yesterday about endlers. Yeah, Matt, let's connect. I will show you those endlers because I didn't have a picture handy. So right now we're going to go back upstairs, but I just wanted to see if anybody has any ideas. With your soft water, do you need no RODI system needed for Seattle, really. I mean, I can get it if it's cold water and I let it warm up, like cycling in a tank. I can get it as low as sometimes like 15, but it's usually about 28 to 32 in my house. And so I don't really need that. I mean, you could, but really most of what's in there is chlorine and salt, like with the chlorine, the sulfite, or the, what's it called? The compound that chlorine breaks down into. Sorry guys, I'm spacing on it. Other thing I need to do, I've got these little pumps working overtime, so I want to get one singular pump to run all 4 to 5 tanks in here. Also, I put the DIY lights that I made that I thought, what's up Betsy, how you doing? We're looking at trying to name this fish room. It's been through a lot. So I was just telling everybody that basically car got broken into. I killed all the plants that were in this tank when it was upstairs, and I dropped the septic water here everywhere. So yeah. But in any case, we need a name for this room. We are going to have 2 shrimp tanks, a quarantine tank that's going to go back there, and then these 2 tanks will be grow out tanks. And also, how'd the wife take that? Well, I don't want to show you guys, but this is our guest bedroom. And I got some trades and things done on Craigslist. I got rid of 1 tank and somehow ended up with a bunch more. That stuff's all trash. Because I've been setting stuff up in this fish room. So the other thing I wanted to address is transparency on this channel. So let's talk about transparency and the fact... Doesn't sound good. No, the wife was very upset. She smelled the death-smelling fish, and she was upset. The fish room, my wife would like that. She's been on Fish Tour. Like, she's seen like 390 shows of Fish, the band. I have seen them like twice when she drugged me. Dragged me. As you can see, I'm a hippie, but I just happen to not be a huge Fish fan. I like Grateful Dead and older classic stuff, and then new like electronic, psychedelic rock and electronic and hip hop. And old classic stuff. But basically, this is the high-tech tank from which I needed to move that old tank for. And I am trying to sink some spiderwood. Lily's doing okay. You may remember that there were a bunch of water damage incorporated. I like that. I need to find like one of those rubber server mats or standing mats like for in like dish pits like at restaurants. So that if I spill, when I spill later tonight, I'm sure. Stairway to Fish Room. Okay. All right. I dig Led Zeppelin. I do. I like their art, but I like Mucha before Zeppelin. They totally borrowed that turn of the century French art in their albums. But since I do album art, and here's another thing I'm working on for a company. House is a mess right now. I clean it every weekend for my wife for company coming over, and then I make a mess of it because I work from home a lot of times. This week I'll be doing a mural for a couple days. But so in any case, this tank, I had it all planned out. It all died. So in the mix of freaking out about the spill, I also put all these plants in a bucket, and I put that bucket outside. And then I forgot about that bucket because I had sewage water essentially sinking through my guest bedroom, and you could smell it in our bedroom where my wife was trying to sleep, and I was freaking out at like 1 a.m. still trying to clean it out of wood without a carpet cleaner at this point. Well, it dropped to 32 or 33 degrees that night, and I totally spaced that I had moved all the 20 long plants in this scape. I had totally forgotten that they were in the bucket outside. And they all looked great, and I was like, oh good, that was a close one. Put them in the tank, they died. So now only the hardiest stuff survived out of that tank, which is a bummer, because I had a lot of money in plants, a lot of trades and cool stuff. But I've tried to take a cutting of all of that and put it in the tank over here, which I must say these 2 tanks are doing fine and dandy. In here, I'm in the process, actually, Matt, of trying to catch all the leopard endlers, and they will go into the grow-out tank. That is one of the grow-out tank reasons. But you can see here, there's males and females. They're just now, and these ones are like pushing 4 months, so they're taking forever to color up. Maybe even, 4 months, I guess. So they are coloring up, though. Only one is showing, like, already. They are going to end up with spade tails, it looks like, at least some form. And only one, that one on the bottom, is showing the traits that I was kind of going for. Bob, I did what you said. This episode is about naming the fish room. I do like psychedelic references, and I like music references. and nature references and puns. So I'll throw that at all y'all. But if you have a good idea, put it in the comments after the episode, just so we can like breeze through it. Now, some of these guys are super quick because they're endlers and because I planted this tank so heavily, which was good because now we've saved the stuff that I thought was all dead in the other tank. I have like a backup of everything in this tank. So that's good to always have a backup of your favorite fish or your favorite plants. I have not been able to catch these two males yet, but I will. And then we'll leave the original male and female to spawn one more time, and then we're going to take the next generation and we'll put the best male out of them. Probably this guy right here, who's a little bit, he's not very colored up right now. They just color up differently throughout the day. They have kind of this metallic opalescence to them. But those are the strain that I've been working on, and I got these originally, Matt, from Lucas Bretz, who had worked on them for 10 years. And so what he made them do, basically, it seems like most of his, they throw random colors on the tail, and then their bodies have kind of random spot colors, but they're mostly yellow and black and spotted or striped. His are more tiger endler species, or strain, I should say. And mine, I'm trying to go with all just so they have, where'd he go? A crystal blue tail that's spade shaped. So his tails come out in different, where is he? There he is. His tails come out in all different colors. This one will turn all the way yellow up his body, but right now he's, I don't know, probably being shy or something and not in focus. The fish crib. I like that because I love cribs. Let's see here. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. I have a pair of rainbow tiger endlers with fry coming from Lucas. Rad, Betsy. Let me know how that goes. Yeah, that's rad. He's a really nice guy. He was the first one when, like, I don't know, like not even 50 people were on my channel, and I asked him for advice, and the dude actually gave me advice and talked to me, and he was the nicest. Not that other YouTubers aren't nice, but he was the nicest one to me when I was talking to him about ideas and stuff. So I think he's really a kind soul, and he's not, I mean, he has a business, but I really don't think he's in it for like, oh, I'm doing this so I can grow my brand. I mean, he was hesitant to even have a YouTube until he saw that people were interested. Yeah, his fire red shrimp won best in show, 3 years ago now, 2 years ago. And then his blue shrimp, which I have 2 left of, there's one there. You can tell the difference, right? I have 2 left of the original batch. And unfortunately, way back, some gudgeons ate a lot of the young, so I'm dwindling on my adult blue shrimp right now. Today, I also went and got some more erythromicrons in here because I want to move Danios and erythromicrons and CPDs into small Rubbermaid tubs, half of each of them. So there's like there's 9 CPDs in here and 9... So we'll probably do like 4 or 5, probably 4, 2 males, 2 females, of all 3 of those Danio species, or Rasbora, whatever you want to call them. I know there's still debate on the erythromicrons, but put them outside in tubs. But after the weather that's been happening being crazy, I'm gonna wait a little while. Also, you can see empty shelf. I'm gonna kind of tell my wife, like, oh, it looks so empty. Maybe we should move that killifish tank back up here. But the other thing is I need to get the killifish out. Speaking of gudgeons, there is the jerk, the male gudgeon who kills everyone. But he is very pretty. And then in here we have every guppy that was in the other tank, plus the crazy load that was already in here. So I crammed it full of plants. And I need to get it out of there. Also, we're pushing a lot of shrimp in here right now, and so I'm probably going to put some of them into the other tanks once they stabilize and I'm confident that they're cycled. Interesting to note that I've been able to grow Rotala Wallachia and then Cuban Ludwigia and also Limnophilia aromatica right here. No problem. I'm not using CO2. It's just these crazy spotlights and having so many fish pooping in the tank at the same time. I bought this today from Aquarium Co-op, and it will suck up. It was in this little pot, and it was like $7.99 or something. And so, yeah, let's set something up soon. All right, take it easy, Matt. Email me. We can get together. Your people call my people. That's me calling you. And we'll figure it out. So, this doesn't need to be a super long live cast because I think people can watch it later too, obviously. But I want to talk about the incredible generosity of a man named Sam. And Sam is in North Dakota. And if you were watching the live stream, you probably recall last live stream that Sam, we're going to sit down for story time. Sam was kind enough to donate 500 of his dollars to my channel. And I thought it was an April Fool's joke. And he said, well, let's not do it on... Well, we kind of talked about it because then he got a hold of me the next morning and I was like, are you kidding me? This is for real? Like, I really thought it was just a joke. And it really moves me that somebody appreciated the channel that much. I don't know if he doesn't have a whole lot of fish tanks or whatever. He's said he's an auto mechanic. He's a real nice guy, and he just said that he thought I could use it in a good way that other people would enjoy. And I really, that to me, I was like, what do you want me to buy? What do you want me to get? Like, I'll do what you say. I'll use it however you want on this channel. I mean, not however, but I'll use it for something useful. Now, in total transparency, this was the night before, one, my car got broken into, two, the friggin' carpet got soaked, and 2 heaters broke. And I faced a tough choice. Oh, and then I threw my wife's good towels on the sewage. So I was able to wash those, but to be nice, I bought her 2 new towels. Or gave her money and said, go buy 2 new towels at Macy's or whatever. So she's put up with a lot. I got her some flowers too. But I have to draw a line of where to say that it's my money versus the channel's money. And one thing that I really want to do, and I said it earlier, but these endlers are taking forever to grow up, is that basically the spring of Sam. This could be the fish room of Sam. It will be the summer of Sam in this fish room. Because I mean that $500. So let me break this down. I wanted to we'll turn this around so we can do some math together. Rotate device. Why do you want me to rotate device? It's already rotated. Okay. So $500. In theory, that is considered a gift, and he would pay the tax on a gift. Now Patreon doesn't let you do that. PayPal is questionable. 28% is the rate that you have to pay for taxes on external or additional supplemental income. So that brings us to $360, technically. If we're speaking tax-wise, and that's how all this works with Patreon and stuff, you don't get out of your taxes. They ask for your tax ID number and all that stuff. So in theory, the IRS could come in. Now, I know we're not talking a lot of money usually here. We're talking $20 a month up till this point. But to be safe, I want to work with this number and set aside the money for taxes just in case. So, but I figured out that's what it would be. I'm hoping that I can say that it was a gift, and him and I talked about that, and technically he would pay the taxes on a gift, which is a crazy system, but whatever. So, $360. $360 the heaters, they cost me $40 each. I got the Aquarium Pros because the other ones broke. These ones will not break when they're not wet or when they're like out of the water. So that's $80 that I spent there. Gave my wife $40 for towels, but that can probably be my own money, so that's a question mark because that's my fault. I'm dumb. And then so that brings us down to $280, right? And then the other thing I did was I got a python, which was $60, and that is $220. And then I got some stuff for the fish racks, which was like $35. I got some of these guys and some airline and valves and things. So that ended up we'll just call it $40. So $40 in the nature of these. So that leaves us $180 of Sam's money. And I said to you guys, I want to spend $100 giving back to the viewers. So now I need to figure out how I can take that $100. So with the rest of this 80, we have a choice, and I'm open to your guys' opinions on all of this, but we have a choice. And if there's an accountant watching or a tax professional, maybe you can comment, or maybe you've gone through this, because I did a Kickstarter and then I got bit hardcore after I raised $7,000. I also spent $7,000, but they said that it was earned equity for the book that I printed, and I had to like evaluate the cost of the goods not sold and then was taxed upon those. Long story. So yeah, Bob. So Bob, you make a good point. I agree. I want to buy you something. And the thing is, if I could just drive fish over to everyone's house, great. But shipping with buying the boxes, buying the heat packs, all that stuff, you know, it's going to be somewhere between $10 and $20 a person. So $100 only really helps 5 people probably. So I'm just trying to like wrap my head around a better way to do that. And if you guys have a better way, then let me know. Because I want to treat my Patreon people well, and I want to treat my subscribers well. And, oh, by the way, if you're a subscriber, if you pay for the shipping, I can give out a lot more fish. So maybe that's the solution, and then we do like 5 where I pay the shipping. Yeah. Yeah, actually the cash thing on a check doesn't work anymore because usually you have to swipe your debit card at the bank or whatever, and they still track it. But there's cases you can get around that at small places. Okay, Bob, Betsy, let's do that. I will get you some endlers if you want those. And also start an outdoor hydroponic system and give away the fish and plants. That's a great idea. So I've done that before. Now let me tell you. I was going to say, the other thing I want to do is I just bought, I'm not counting it in this total, but I spent $50 on, which was a great deal, on a full 20-pound canister for CO2, and it's filled for $50, which was great. So now I just need this regulator, which I got from Carson, which was really nice. It needs to be fixed, but I think maybe I will try to sell that or give it away to some friends who want to fix it. This is stuff out of the tank, by the way. And we'll fix that up, and I'll reimburse myself. But I think I might buy a little bit different setup than this one and do a 6-valve one. So I think for about $120, which I could use this money and grow all sorts of crazy plants to show you guys. We could do that because outside, I already have what is needed now outside. I have some heaters that I don't trust a ton, and I don't trust them a ton, but they do work. They're just weak. So really, the cold nights are what is an issue here, and the hotness is the bigger issue. So if I get a central air pump, then I can free up these for my tubs outside. That sound, I think, was probably an email. I have it on mute, but it just showed up in my box, and I think it still made a noise because systems might not be muted. But yeah, so I think what we'll do, this is going to be an endler and crib grow out tank, because unless cribs are spawning, they're not territorial or violent. They're really actually peaceful. And so we'll do that. I'm going to talk with your people talking to Matt's people. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, my people. You guys are my people. Oh, so in any case, that's where I'm going with things. We've got this tank sponsored. This is a work in progress. I just threw some rocks in and some plants because it has crazy nitrogen right now. And so I wanted to take advantage of that, even though it's dusty and I got to do water changes every 2 days on it. And it's a headache. I'm letting it cycle the natural way. I'm not jump cycling it just because I've never done one of these high-tech tanks with the substrate that's active and all that with the CO2 and everything. So we'll see how that goes. Also, I don't love the light on this tank on its own. I'll show you. It looks kind of gray. So I've added a red bar light to it, which gives the greens more color. So yeah, we're going to do this will be the short cast for today, because I know I'm on during Real Fish Talk, but sorry, I had to ignore a phone call. I'm really sorry about that, guys, if you heard that. Do a Dustin and start outdoor fish tank. Yeah, so the problem is Dustin lives in a place that's a lot warmer than mine. I mean, it gets colder in the winter, or as cold, but I live in a place where right now, it went from 60 the other day to, I don't know, today it's probably 48 or 50, so it's still too cold to do tubs. But what I want to do is use those Rubbermaid tubs and insulate them somehow cheaply. And out here on my porch, this is my yard, by the way. This is my yard. I can see Mount Rainier. And so, yeah, we'll use tubs. And if my wife doesn't kill me, because the thing is, I have to do everything. I love her to death. She puts up with my insanity in projects and things. Also, out in the carport, I have all sorts of art projects that are like 10 feet long, and billboards and set designs for music festivals and concerts that I took home because they were going to throw them away, and I thought, oh, some bar will want this someday, and like that happened a couple times. But so in any case, I think on this deck I can fit like a tub here and maybe 2 here, and then what I'll have to do is have the water planting like lilies or something that my wife will really like, and so we'll work that out. We'll figure that out. But that is my actual deck. This is my nest, which is a mess. Cords, that is the story of my week, is cords. I need to like zip tie everything together and get it running safely, rather than this insanity. Also, I wanted to check on the purple lily because everybody digs it. So, geez, I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know. I heard that too, so I don't know what's going on. Everything is on silent. I just double checked. So purple lily, still purpling, and when you look at it outside of the tank, not so purple. So kind of cool. T-Hang, I feel like you and I should chat. So if you guys didn't know, let's bring it back personal. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, I set up a Facebook group, and it's just the secret history living inside your aquarium, and you guys can hop on there, and I want to see your tanks. I want to see your stuff. I want suggestions on topics you want covered. And I know I haven't done a history video since the Lily video, and it's only been a week, whatever, chill out. Some people were like, oh, I don't like all these updates, but some people do, and I like talking with you guys. So, yeah, but I'm thinking that if we chat more in Facebook, it's easier than in the messages on here, because this is so fleeting that I want to talk to you guys like in a thread that everyone can chime in on, who's not all here right now and whatever. So if we want to move this to the Facebook chat, T-Hang, I like your, like the bog idea thing. I know that I've had cherry shrimp survive a winter in Seattle if it's right up against the house, but they kind of go dormant and they need some like substrate that they can burrow into. Kind of interesting though. Yeah, so I think I want to do the white clouds with the long red, the meteor minnows outside. Maybe some endlers if we can get enough of the leopard endlers going again with that grow out tank, because then I've been keeping the colony so small and selecting like really heavily that it and just giving them away and stuff or selling them, but not really for profit, more like just trading for fish or whatever. That it makes it so I don't have room in those tanks for just a massive endlers or guppies. And so I'm debating just doing those leopard endlers and just doing the Japanese blue and getting rid of everything else that's kind of a mutt, and refining those two lines. I've also thought about splitting up the 20 gallons into 4 pieces, or 1 into 4 and 1 into 2, so that I can have my strains refined. So I can have like spade, blue tail, and I can have no blue on the tail, but the spot up high is a green or purple or something like that. Hey, Alonzo. So if you guys have a good way to separate a 20 long, let me know. I've seen glass, I've seen the suction cups, I've seen, where is it? Where'd it go? Well, I was going to say that I've seen the screens you buy at Petco, but those things are garbage. Oh, here we go. These suck. These are awful. Don't buy these. They're just garbage. So, yeah, don't go to Petco to buy their tank separators. Warning you now. All right, guys. Well, so that's what I wanted to talk about, was the $500 thing and how I can best use it without feeling greedy and feel like I'm giving back. And I mean, obviously food, plants, things like that I'm putting in these new tanks. It's costing a lot, but I've always tried to keep my hobby set up so that every dollar I spend on the hobby comes back from... Yeah, I was actually thinking about matten filters also. I wasn't sure if that would work. Like, that would allow the flow to change or to go through really well, which I would like. And I don't care about quarantining the tank because it's going to be one tank if I don't have the separators anyways. So I wonder if that's doable. And if so, Rob at Flip has matten filters by the truckload made in the USA. So maybe I can talk to Rob about that. But I've still been expecting shrimp from Rob. Love the guy. He's working hard. I know he's building a whole other wing to his enterprise. And so I sent him a message today, but we'll see. Hopefully the shrimp come soon. They were coming last week and he never got it out. So in any case, he's super busy. I have a teeny fish room and it's occupied like 20 hours of the last 2-3 days. So I totally get he is insanely busy. But once that kicks in, once aquarium, so the guy who owns Aquarium Zen also, who's backing me up. Hey, Andre, Koala. I'm gonna say Andrea. I'm so off. Andre. So in any case, the guy who set up the high-tech rimless tank, I'm wondering if I can squeeze a regulator out of him, maybe. But moreover, I am trying to... are you using CO2 for your new fish tank? Yeah, that's where the CO2's at right now. Use the filter material as a separator was in a tank Rob had. Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, then it probably works, and I'll talk to Rob, and hopefully he can send me out some matten filters, because I requested a couple anyways for his shrimp. Because I like putting Neocaridina in all of my tanks. I don't have too many predatory fish, although E, like he. Andre. Did I get that right? Andre? I mean, I should know the little long E or hard E thing, but I always forget what's what. And I had an anthropology degree. I had to deal with all those things for all the different languages. I just, like, out of my head as soon as I left college. No, Andre. Put a Y at the end if that's right. So, yeah. But in any case, this tank is high tech all the way with CO2 right now, but I've only got the little CO2 thing. So put the suggested names for the fish room below. Yeah, in the comments. When this loads after it's over, then just put type them in the comments. Andre. There we go. Did I say that right? Andre? That's so easy. I didn't need the... They're not umlauts. What are they called when they're over the letter E? I don't remember. Okay. Thanks, Betsy. Saving me again. Miss Linguist. I think you're a linguist. Accents. Accent marks. Yeah. So, in any case, I have a video coming out. Blame my Portuguese and French family. You got it right. Okay. Yeah, well, I've got French family too. And I speak French a bit, like 5 years of taking it and going and living over there for a little while. So you'd think I would read things in English better. But over there, I'm like, oh, this means that. But over here, I'm like, I don't know if that's an ethnic, like, African American thing or if it's like, like Andre, or if that's an ethnic French thing or a stylized New Age thing. So sometimes I just question myself in the U.S. more than if I was, like, actually speaking French in a French place. I'm getting better. I don't know if you saw, but, like, I had a terrible allergic reaction. I have hives and welts all over my body. I'm not gonna undress, but I got, like, my eyes swelled shut and they're still kind of, like, blistered. That happens with the lupus. I'm so sensitive to that kind of stuff. And we need to talk about some of your pronunciations. Yes, Betsy, we do need to talk about my pronunciations. Choya wood. Huh, how's that? Okay, well, I don't know what else I was going to cover today, but I feel like we covered a lot in the time. And so if you have an idea for the fish room, let me know. If you have an idea for the $500 and that little breakdown I just did back there, let me know. Because if you're also, find me in the Facebook group if you're interested in free fish if you pay the shipping. And I'll start a list of who those people are. And I'll feel like I'm giving back. And people like Bob and Betsy who are always in here in the chat and stuff, like, you guys may be a no-brainer. You may be a shoo-in. Whereas somebody who just responds randomly on here, you'll go into a drawing or something. But I really appreciate loyalty, likes, views, when people have the notification bell set. Like, that means a lot to me because, I spend a lot of time on this. So, yeah, you are random too. T-Hang, you're not random. You're in all of these. So, you fall in that. If you want to pay the shipping and you're in the States, I can hook you up. But find me on the Facebook group. Let's get this going. And the other thing was, so, assuming I have to pay the tax man, and none of you are tax folks, yeah, I see some of you guys lurking every once in a while, and you're here. You just don't talk that much. But I know who's here. So we'll figure that out. I only have so many to give away right now because I have to have some to selectively breed. But the thing about that is now I have the space with the fish room that I can very quickly turn 20 guppies into, 1,000 guppies if you'd like. If you want to wait longer, I mean, I can send more guppies to more people because every male and female, or every female, I should say, is another like 15 or 20 guppies in the next couple months. So, but they're taking forever to color up, these endlers. So, I guess that's just the strain. Although in the past they hadn't. So it might be that they're with other nanofish, and before they were like, eating, scrounging. Hey, Vita Vance. What's up? I'm late. Active shooter situation in Cali. I know. My heart goes out to those people. When I saw that it was YouTube headquarters that got shot up, and by a female, I mean, not that it matters to me who's shooting it up, but just that was slightly surprising. But it's sad. And I thought it was going to relate to the fact that YouTube banned a bunch of gun channels recently. I really did, but it sounds like maybe it's a domestic issue, which doesn't excuse it, doesn't make it better, doesn't make it worse. It's just, it's awful. So, I wish people would stop killing each other, right? Make a difference in a different way. If you're going to go out, there's probably a lot of ways you could do it and make a positive difference in the world. Lovers quarrel. Okay, yeah. So, all too common. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's just like, all right, well, there's 350 million Americans or whatever it is now, and you know, every couple weeks or every week we seem to hear that like 10 got killed in some event, and statistically we're still fairly safe in this country. Suicide is a big part of a huge part of the gun deaths in this country. It's like over 35%, but that's for a different channel, not the fish channel. But we can talk about all that on Facebook and other places, because I was just talking about that last week, how depressed people and people who are lonely and need help or need friends. I mean, that's me. Sometimes I fit into that category. I don't say that in a degrading way. These YouTube videos and channels and live chats are cool. I mean, you can connect with people. I feel like you guys are my friends, and that means a lot to me, so thank you. And it keeps my spirits up when I do dumb things like spill gallons of septic water on the carpet, or my truck gets broken into, and then I kill all my plants, and then I break 2 heaters somehow, or they went bad, or the circuit overload. I don't know what happened, but they just both got really hot, and then they stopped working, and you can see they burnt out. They weren't expensive heaters, so I went and got Aquarium Pro heaters, which are supposed to be fully submersible and better. Do you think guppies, that most guppies are doomed? Yeah, I just got that. Do you think most guppies are doomed? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by are most guppies doomed? Like, doomed to be in the hands of, like, little kids who don't treat them well because they don't know better, or cold because they get killed. I don't coal mine. I don't coal mine. I don't do that either. Oh, inbreeding? No, I always introduce new ones. So I got to buy some from Lucas Bretz, and even though that'll set my project back, like the colors and stuff, like the blue spade tail, I asked him if he has any of those morphs just specifically, and I haven't heard back yet, but I was just talking to him about buying some of those close to my type, but I've taken the line in a different direction than him slightly. And so, yeah, I want to introduce new DNA because, yeah, they could be doomed if you just keep inbreeding with one group that starts it. But they're already pretty inbred. Any fancy guppy is really inbred. Endlers are pretty inbred, but a lot of them have more wild genes in them too, because they weren't as highly trained. Sorry, I know you guys saw that. Hey, it's Rob from Flip Aquatics. I will be mailing it out tomorrow. Sorry, man. I had to get the guys ready. We've been super busy. Well, there you have it. That's what Rob says from Flip Aquatics. So, cool. We'll have some Caridina shrimp, and I can talk about those and do some history of those. As well as we're going to talk about maybe like, I was thinking about talking about the Venturi process, or the physics of the Venturi mechanism on the Python thing, and how that blew out the pipe on my wall, like caused it to leak and broke a gasket. I'm just leaking water everywhere. But in any case, let me know what you guys would do with the $360. I guess I spent a good chunk of it just finishing off this fish room, because I also had a lot of medical bills, and like I'm counting that as a gift to the channel. And so as long as it makes content that comes back for you guys to see, and hopefully like fish being bred that can come out to you guys in the future who stick with me. I feel like that's fair. But if you guys don't, like, let me know, because this is all about you guys. And I mean, it comes down to Sam on that $500 thing, quite frankly, like what he wants done. But he was a really sweet guy, and he just said, use it well. And so, yeah, Wet Spot 2.0. I do really like cribs, and I do really like endlers. So if you guys have a clever name for the fish room, leave it in the comments after the video. And then also, as I said, what you would do with another $200. Do I spend it on CO2 for the whole rack system and keep doing crazy plants and do some outside tubbing? I'll be able to switch up those air filters that are super cheap, the sponge filters. Or do I send out fish? Sending out fish costs a lot of money, and it doesn't help that many people that well. It gets a lot of people's hopes up for like clickbait, but I don't know how well it actually, I mean, like 5-10 people would get fish, best case. So, Endler's Game. I like that a lot, actually. I do like that book, too, by the way. I thought the movie was interesting. I don't know if I loved it, but it kept my attention. I'm a massive science fiction fan and history buff, obviously. I love Roman and Middle Eastern history and biblical history. I'll tell you something personal here. I'm not that religious. You can probably guess that. I don't know, all the tie-dyes and stuff and the funky stuff in the house. But I think nothing but the best of most religions, and I think they're a good thing. I was raised Jewish and then Catholic, kind of, because our neighbors were Catholic, and so my mom was like, if you're not going to be Jewish, why don't you go check that out? So from like age 12 or 13, I went to Catholic church every weekend with my neighbors, which is kind of odd, but I'm glad I did. And then I've been to just other churches, from Buddhist to Hindu to Islamic, just checking out things. But I really like, I mean, I'm just going to say it on here. I like Jesus's message. He was a very cool guy. He was a hippie. He believed in helping other people and being kind. A lot of Christian countries don't do Christian things. He was a pacifist too. So, and I also think Siddhartha or Buddha, Buddhism has a lot of things. So I believe in a little bit of all of it as how to live my life, but then I would consider myself agnostic. And I know I'm talking about religion, and I said I wouldn't, but basically I consider myself open to anything and just be a good person. Like, just be nice to people. Don't be a body part, a male body part. Be nice to people, and treat them the way you'd want to be treated. And if you can spare it at that time, or even if you can't, like, do something unexpectedly nice for someone maybe you don't even know. Yeah, fishy snowman, I agree. I think we're on the same page. And in that case, it's live and let live. Like, if you're doing, like, believe whatever you want to believe, do whatever you want to do. Don't impose it on me if it's going to constrain my life. And I think if we can live by those rules for the most part, we can stay pretty happy. And I think as a country, we do that fairly well, actually. Like, as much as people want to say there's a war on this or that, or I don't know. I think if you're a Christian in this country, it's pretty live and let live between the atheists. Although we don't have any real atheists in Congress. But I don't think I'm an atheist either, because I am totally open to, if something reveals itself to me that looks empirically provable or substantially emotionally beyond a doubt, that is what I will take as gospel. Pun intended. So, last thing, I don't know. What do you guys think I should do about these tanks? So right now, I've got all that yellow rock from upstairs, the quote-unquote Australian or Arizona rock, and I'm thinking about putting it in here. And then up here, this is such a white tank. I don't have a white sanded tank, but this might be a better tank. I need to get more sand of a different size, like some larger grain sand. I learned my lesson of compacting substrate causing anaerobic bacteria. And basically, I think up here the cribs would do better. They do need coverage though, like so they'd either need water plants up top. And I threw out like bags and bags of water lettuce that I had taking over my life, and now I need like more again. So there is a big fish and plant auction coming up at my club, and it's the biggest one of the year. So I could also bring my money to that and just like, bid away. Also, you can see these ruby tetras hate being in this white background, and they have lost a lot of their color. The Cory cats don't seem to really care. And I'm going to pull some of this filter media out because I once it inoculates enough surfaces like the sponge and stuff, I think we'll be okay. It's just we don't have the hang off the back running right now on that tank. Also, there are, I forgot to tell you, there's oddball shrimps and snails in here. So I've got the golden ram's horn snails. So I always, like I said, try to keep a backup of something. And then the killifish have laid eggs, but let's turn the light on up there. They don't like light. They hide from the light. And let's see here. And also, the other thing, if you guys can help me, if you guys have a fish room, what in the heck do you do with all these cords? I know I need to bolt this to the wall for earthquakes. It's fairly solid, but it moves a touch. You can see when I shake it, the water shakes a little. It doesn't move forward luckily, but I think if you wiggled it side to side, you could have an issue. So I want to strap that to the wall, maybe cinch it down with just like straps from my truck. I don't know. And then out here, we've got like surge protector within a surge protector inception. And that's no good. And then we've got another setup similar. All running through a thing with a breaker. All my tools and art and junk. This room is just trash. So I need to clean it. I should stop making videos and do that. But I've just been making videos and working and playing with the fish. So my wife will hopefully be happy if I go back to making some videos once this fish room is kind of set into motion, but I just wanted to get everything cycling. Also, I do have this area in my house. The problem is the landlord doesn't like the place looking too junky from the street, and we have all these ordinances in Seattle technically. And so I could put tubs out here, but it wouldn't be very protected from the elements. The other place that I could put tubs would be in our carport, but I'd be worried that they wouldn't get warm enough. But it would solve the problem of them not overheating. Also, I have PVC pipe, rocks that I bleached in my truck, rocks that I'm breaking up with a hammer. What am I, in prison? And basically, I need to go quarry more stone because this stuff here, this green stuff, is real popular at two of the local fish stores, and so they're selling it for like $4 or $5 a pound, and I'm selling it for $1 a pound to them or for trade. But it's got really nice banding in it, and this is dry, so imagine when it's wet, it's pretty nice looking. So we've got that. I also have landlords really are fish like parrots. So the other thing that I have in this mess out here, here's the cardboard rack, but I could put the fish tanks here. I wanted to show you guys something right over here. This is my wife's stuff. This is her potting stuff and crafty stuff. Later, dude. This is a big light sensitive board that looks like the view I have, kind of like that peekaboo view I have out on the deck of the sun setting over the Olympic Mountains and then the foothills before it, and it's all layered like a shadow box, and it has sensors that move to the music. So that thing is 40 square feet. It's like the size of my truck almost, and I need to get rid of stuff like that. So I just need to do cleaning. I do sign painting for a living too as another side thing. So I've got a bunch of junk over there. But I think that just about concludes this vlog. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your fish. Write me in the comments. That's writing. It's not, boy, this is an old shirt. It's 15 years old. hook up with me on Facebook, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night, everybody. T-Hang, Betsy, Bob. I don't know. Who else is left? All right. Well, have a good night, everybody. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited to see some of the name ideas. All right. Take care.